This was created in just 3 hours of work. Hi everyone, Dor here from finetuners.ai. Today, like every day for the past month, I've been working with Flux. In this case study, I wanted to see how well Flux can imitate an illustrated style. For this, I chose Royal Match, which is probably the best casual game I've ever played. And after almost 5,000 levels, I think I can safely say I'm a huge fan. I trained a Flux model which allowed me to create both empty and fully furnished rooms. As you can see, the render quality is impressive and closely resembles the original game art. Just for comparison, in a similar case study we conducted almost 2 years ago, using Stable Diffusion 1.5 we could not achieve this level of detail and render. However, there are still some artifacts in the images, which means that they need some extra work. Plus, we need everything in layers, so we can animate the scenes later on. We have 2 approaches for handling this, and they will work together: subtracting items from the scene and adding our own. Subtracting items is surprisingly easy these days. We start by selecting a scene with potential and take it into Photoshop. There, we use the object selection tool to pick out an item and copy it to a separate layer. The space left behind is filled using Photoshop's content-aware feature. Combined with the generative fill tool, we can achieve satisfying results quickly. After about 20 minutes of work, I ended up with a scene that looks like this. Now over to Comfy UI. I inpainted a large cobblestone round and then ran the entire image through an image-to-image process, which fixed most of the bugs. Adding items to the scene is slightly more complex process because we need our items to fit perfectly within the scene in the right perspective. One way to do it is by creating the desired item on a white background using text-to-image and then making a low-poly 3D model of it. To position it in the scene, I used Blender, which gives me full control over the placement of the 3D object. Once I'm satisfied with the positioning, I export the object as an image and bring it back into Comfy UI for image-to-image processing. The image, now a PNG without a background, is added as a layer in Photoshop. Now, what about the statue of the king? I trained another AI model, this time focusing on Robert, the undisputed king of Royal Match. A quick image-to-image process later, and here he is. So here's how the Photoshop project looks, all layered and ready to be sent for animation. If we don't count the time I took to train the models, this entire project took me less than 3 hours. It's not perfect, and I'm not an artist, but imagine what could be done with this tech in the right hands. So what are you waiting for? Subscribe and go play Royal Match.